Well, welcome to the third edition of Midweek with Matt. And we are not just a Midweek with Matt, but we are midway through May. So thanks for joining us today. I do want to let you know that today we're going to start off with a little bit of trivia. I want you to guess the year. Was the year 1991, 1993, or 1995? I'll start off with some hints. First hint is the movie Jurassic Park, as well as the movie The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, were both big at the box office. The ATF stormed the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas in this same year. We also have songs, if you were hanging out at the dentist office, I'll Always Love You by Whitney Houston, and I Can't Stop Falling in Love with You by UB40. If you weren't hanging out at the dentist office, but you were listening to K-Love back in the beginning days, you would have heard songs like I'll Still Be Believing by Point of Grace, I Believe by Wes King, and Hold On to Jesus by Rich Mullins. And then, if you weren't into that, maybe these songs might help you out. Stone Temple Pilots' Plush, No Rain by Blind Melon, and that famous song that you hear all too often, Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Was it 1991, 1993, or 1995? If you guessed 1993, the year that I graduated high school, you are correct. And as you're thinking about that, 1993 seems like it was so long ago. As a matter of fact, 27 years. Crazy to think about. But one of the big things that was also going on in 1993 that was flying under the radar, at least in secular culture, because it was big in Christian culture, was 4 letters. Those 4 letters, W.W.J.D. What would Jesus do? You saw those 4 letters on bracelets. You saw them on necklaces. You saw them on beads when you were making your VBS crafts. And you even see them still today on balloons. I've seen the W.W.J.D. balloon at the Balloon Fiesta. It's kind of a crazy thing, but it's a great question. What would Jesus do? And as we're moving through our gospel project, I will tell you that those 4 letters have a lot to do with our message this weekend. What would Jesus do? Well, we're at a place in our gospel project, Luke chapter 2, verses 40 through 52. And as we're going to be reading that together this weekend, I just want to highlight 2 verses for you from that. Luke chapter 2, verse 40, and Luke chapter 2, verse 52. Here's what verse 40 says. The boy, Jesus, grew up and became strong, filled with wisdom, and God's grace was on him. The second part is in verse 52, it says, and Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and with people. What would Jesus do? Well, Jesus grew up. Jesus grew up, and I think it's something that we can hold on to, something we can learn, because I believe that each and every one of us have lots of growing still to do. You know, if a child is growing up, you're going to say, man, they're getting bigger. They're getting stronger. They're doing all sorts of new things. They're learning new things. Is there ever a point in a child's life that that's supposed to stop? Is there ever a point in our lives where we just hit the point of, yep, now we're done? Is it age 18 and we don't have to grow anymore? We don't have to learn anymore? We don't have to do that? No, it's a continual process. Now, we may not physically grow taller, but we are going to continue to grow in our wisdom. We're going to grow in our knowledge of God. We're going to grow in our ability to relate to people as well as relate to God. And that's the thing I want to challenge you with today. Because we have, from the very beginning of this pandemic, we've said, you know what? We want you to come back stronger. As a matter of fact, if you go all the way back to the beginning of the year, we've talked about making sure you're taking the next step. My question for you today is, in the last 8 weeks, since the beginning of 2020, have you taken that next step? Have you grown in your faith? Have you grown in your wisdom of God? Have you grown in your love for God and your love for Jesus? How about for the love for others that are a part of this faith family? Have you grown even in your love for a world that is in desperate need of Jesus? Have you grown in these areas? That is the question I have for you today. I would love for you to think about it. And at the same time, read Luke chapter 2, verses 40 through 52. And as we're going to dive into that this week, maybe write down some discussion questions that you can have with your family or with a friend through Facebook when you're watching, or even if you're watching over YouTube, whatever that might look like. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. Connect with us online on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and even Instagram, and follow along with us as we continue to move forward. Looking forward to meeting together here real soon. As a matter of fact, we'll be getting together next Thursday for our prayer night here at Paragon Church. We're going to be doing a building walk and prayer walk on the outside, as well as the weekend following after that, which is May 24th. We're going to be doing a tailgate party get-together out in the parking lot. Love for you to join us for that. Then we're going to be opening up the doors to the church starting on May 31st. Guys, thanks again for joining us. I pray that God is blessing you. I pray that He is using you for His glory and His honor. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you virtually this weekend.